Join Black Westchester publisher Damon K. Jones for Wellness Wednesdays, your weekly guide to holistic health and spiritual well-being.
To this next Negro, Raphael Warnock. And I want to tell you, man, Martin Luther King Jr. is rolling over in his grave, and maybe his children might disagree, but this was horrible.
Yeah, I was not comparing the CDC to Nazi death camps. I was comparing the injury rate to our children to other atrocities. And I wouldn't compare, of course, the CDC to Nazi death camps to the extent that any statement that I made has been interpreted that way. Yeah, I don't agree with that. In 2003, the United States Congress Government Oversight Committee ended an over a year investigation of the CDC and used almost that same language. They said that the CDC, just one division, one branch, the Immunization Safety Office, had put institutional self-interest and pharmaceutical profits ahead of the welfare and health of American children. So that was a conclusion by Congress. And I repeated that.
I'm asking you because you're the nominee for HHS. It sounds like you stand by those statements.
Senator, my objective is to support the CDC. There's nothing I'm going to do that is going to harm CDC. I want to make sure that our science is gold standard science, and it's free from that same Government Oversight Investigation Committee. The panels, the ACIP panel within CDC, I think 97% of the people on it had conflicts. I don't believe that that's right. I think we need to end those conflicts and make sure that scientists are doing unobstructed science.
So I want to enter this statement, by the way, into the record without objection.
Without objection.
Last week, the White House gagged HHS and the CDC, preventing them from communicating all important public health information to anyone, including all of our allies, including our allies in the United States and global disease prevention. Can you just answer yes or no, because I'm running out of time? Do you agree with that action?
I was not consulted on it, but that's pretty much standard operating procedure for incoming administration.
So you agree with the action that gagged HHS and CDC from communicating important public health information?
That directive made sure that no public health and only non-essential travel and mass communications were temporarily suspended pending the confirmation of a new HHS secretary. This is standard operating procedure for every administration.
I get it. I don't think what we've seen over the last several days is standard operation for new administration. I think we're seeing some unprecedented actions, but you agree with it. Last night, members of the CDC, along with other federal employees, were actually invited to resign, these buyouts. And I got text messages and folks I know work from the CDC that do this important work who got that note. And it's really important because my experience is that when you send out that kind of note, the folks who resign are the folks who you least likely want to see resign. They got other options. They're gifted folks. They got a lot of expertise. They have options. A lot of them are doing this work because of their patriotism, because of their commitment. Do you agree with the buyouts that were presented to CDC employees just last night?
I agree. At the vast majority of the scientists and experts at CDC are patriots of good government service.
Can you tell me yes or no?
I don't think anybody's going to resign who's committed to making America healthy.
Can you just answer yes? Okay, you agree with the buyouts. In our meeting, I asked you to confirm your support for the Affordable Care Act. You also mentioned that you and President Trump want to fix the ACA by making premiums more affordable. Can you answer me yes or no, as I don't have a lot of time? Did you know that tax credits that help families afford health insurance and save Georgians an average of $531 month per person are set to expire at the end of the year. Did you know that?
I do.
We need to move on.
Do you support Congress extending these tax credits so that Americans can continue to afford health care?
Congress has to make its own decisions about that. My instructions from
Mr.
President
Chairman,
Trump
you're saying I'm running
is
out
to
of
make
time, but I'm having a lot of trouble getting the witness to answer yes or no to a yes or no question. And I've got one more question.
You're almost at 9 minutes, sir.
Well, I need him to answer yes or no. Yes or no? Do you
I'm not going to
support?
answer yes or no to a question that's not susceptible to an honest yes or no answer.
Okay, I can't
We
get an
need to
answer.
move on.
I think that the fact that you find it difficult to answer basic questions is deeply troubling for me as you present yourself as a nominee to run HHS. Thank you so very much.
Senator Smith.
Let me tell you something. I never saw so much Negroism in my life.
Circus, Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro, polka dot, Afro.
That's what that was. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for a pastor, this is one of the reasons pastors should not be in politics, because God is watching your bullshit. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll say this. First and foremost, let's not blame his pastoring. He's a politician. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the he treat him as a politician, right? Give him all the dues that you would pay a politician. Don't look at him as a pastor. Because you know why? Again, it goes back to, okay, if you were just like you and I are sitting here and we're discussing, health, the healthcare system, the state of Black health, for example, okay? At a certain point, you have got to look at the state of health that we're dealing with all the chronic conditions. And common sense would say, well, look, we can continue to spend this money on it, or we can look at what is fueling the fire. And if you have somebody, let's say like a Robert F. Kennedy, outspoken as he may be, if he's interested in addressing the root causes of this fuel, okay, of what's fueling the fire, then you would change your questions rather than making them political or trying to score those hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Your job would be, hey, how can, what exactly are you going to do? Tell us so we can know, we can prepare, we can support you, or maybe even we can oppose you if need be. But we want to know specifically what your intentions are. Because a lot of these hearings were pretty much, well, you once made this statement, right?
Right.
Why did you say that? Well, it's offensive. I think it's dangerous. They're trying to score hit points. Okay. Well, look, the last Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services was there, and chronic diseases just kept going on up, right?
Exactly.
So is that what you want? Do you want just a continuation of what hasn't worked, or would you rather have someone that's going to say what's being put in our food that's causing these things, right? Someone to say, hey, look, I'm 70 years old and, I can bench press, I can do this, I'm in great shape, right? Maybe you should aspire for that. That's what someone with logic and common sense would say. What you're seeing with a lot of these politicians is they're batting for their team. And
Right.
it goes back. I mean, look, if you were to look at Raphael Warnock on Open Secrets, you would find a lot of the same
Oh
things.
no, we get ready to bring, brother. I'm glad you brought that up. We about to we're about to go right into it.
But
So
that's why I said leave the whole pastor out. That's a politician. Okay, don't be fooled by the pastor thing. That is a politician. Okay.
so health professionals, he's got 3,648,925 from health professionals. Let me see. Hospitals and nursing homes, right?
Mhm.
847,722. Now remember, this is, I think, this is the second or third term, so he's new. He's not up there yet, right?
Mhm.
Pharmaceuticals and health products, 761,478. So he's on the payroll too. And just like you said, brother, he's in Atlanta, which has one of the highest AIDS rate, and he had got one question to RFK about how do we deal with this AIDS epidemic that's going on in Atlanta right now.
Right now, yeah. Nothing about that. Nope. We just got to score political points because
Exactly. Not only that, and we're gonna go to the pastor side too. You a pastor? I ain't gonna let him go from that. You a pastor, and you didn't even ask him the study that came out a few years back that black men that attend church regularly were the most unhealthy. And you didn't even say, how do we fix that in the black church? What would be your plan, Robert, to fix that in the black church? You went on to Negro pandering and try. Listen, our black elected officials, if people are not, if you don't see this right now, and if you just so blind about what's a D and what's a R, then you need to take the blue or the red pill, one of them pills, I forgot which one it was, and get out of the matrix.
yeah, yeah. Well, look, he's just serving his master, and the master are the donors or his political party. That's why I said, look, man, miss me with the pastor stuff. Okay, I no, why? You know why I say that? Because you cannot just believe what someone says. You have to believe what they do.
Right.
Okay, just like you were able to see his priorities better than he was at that particular Senate hearing.
Exactly.
Right. So how is it that you, being all the way out here, can see some of the things that he should have asked the potential Secretary of Department of Health and Human Services? How is it that you could see some viable questions to ask, but he didn't see them because he's trying to score points for his masters? And
Right.
and and so that's why I said, look, man, leave the pastor alone, okay? leave that out of
I
it. Because
I really, as someone who's trying to get closer to God, and I even told my pastor that.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Wellness Wednesdays. If this information resonated with you, please hit that like button and share with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to Black Westchester's channel for more content focused on our community's well-being. Remember, while Damon is certified in holistic health and wellness coaching, always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Your journey matters, and we are here to support you every Wednesday. Until next time, stay blessed, stay informed, and let's make health and wellness the new black.